Hi everyone and welcome to Season 13, Episode 7 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. So welcome along to our last episode of this particular season. It's been an amazing season. We are almost on the verge of getting into European football for the first time. Can we end the season with a really great win against Southampton? Let's find out. So when I say we're on the verge of European football, actually what I meant to say really was we've got it. We've got some form of European competition for next season. If we look at the table with one match to play, we are currently 9 points clear of West Ham, who are in 8th position, which means that we've definitely got European competition. Now, it might be the Europa Conference. We could potentially qualify for the Europa League, depending on a couple of results around us today. And we play Southampton, who are rock bottom of the table and getting relegated this season. So a good team to finish. In terms of our recent form, it's been pretty good, actually. Since this little mini blip that we had in March, since the Chelsea game, we've gone on a much better run. We became harder to beat, and we've actually won 4 out of those sort of 7 matches, and ultimately that's put us in that European spot. So we've had some really good sections of this particular season. We started really poorly, if you'll remember. It was a really hard start. I didn't know what that was going to mean for us, but then we went on a really great run, and then in and around February time, we had a 5-match winning streak, 1 loss in the Premier League against Liverpool in about 10 fixtures. So it was pretty decent. And then we had that little mini blip against Villa and then Chelsea. Was that in the last episode? I think it probably was. I can't even remember. Dear, that's old age for you, but whatever. So since then, we've gone on a great run, scored lots of goals, been hard to beat. We get to Southampton on the last day of the season, away from home in very good form against an already relegated side. Can we get into the Europa League rather than Conference? It's about Leicester City and what they do, but we're certainly going to give it a really good go. So we do have a couple of injury issues. Well, one fitness issue for Neco Williams, who won't be playing today and probably won't be here next season. That's probably his time at the club done at right fullback. Daniel Silva, on the other hand, central defensive midfield player for the last couple of months, has been in there whilst we've been on this really good run of form. Unfortunately, he's picked up a sprained knee ligament, and that will keep him out for the next 3 to 5 weeks. So he won't be playing today, and it will take him a little bit of recovery time just over the summer, but he'll be back in and around the squad for the start of next season. We've got decisions to make about the likes of Naismith, who we brought in on loan from Arsenal for the second half of this season. Very good option. Can we get him in permanently? Not too sure, but we may well try because he's a decent option for us. And there'll be other opportunities to improve as well. The only other player that I want to pick out and have a look at just on this particular occasion, there's obviously a couple of other loan signings in there as well. Herbert, for example, from Chelsea, I think they're going to want him back in their first team next season, so we're unlikely to get him. But the one that I want to have a look at is Lawrence. Lawrence started really poorly in his role on that left-hand side of our midfield, playing as the inside forward. It started really poorly, but he has picked up. He's still got a 6.8 average rating. It was about 6.4 after the first few matches, but he's now played 12 games for us, but he has got 4 goals and 3 assists. So he is beginning to show up down that left-hand side. Now, there is a left-sided option that if everything works out, I would like to bring in the club next season that would change that position, and Lawrence would be a more of a covering player in both the striking and wing positions because he can play all 3. So we'll see what happens with that, but ultimately the summer is going to be very interesting. But 1 or 2 things to figure out and decide upon, and one of the things that we need to figure out and decide upon is exactly what we do in this central midfield role. Both Goodwin and Marks, who's on the bench today, haven't really lit the place up this season, and I feel we could potentially do better there. So there's a number of spots that we need to look at. At the moment, we're still in the process of if there's a better player than what we have, we bring him in, and it doesn't really matter what position he plays in because we're just still trying to increase the quality in the squad as a general. So we'll be looking at all sorts of things over the summer, but ultimately we've got one more game to play. Can we get into that Europa League spot? Will the fixture list favour us in terms of the other results today? Who knows, but we'll just try and do our part. So for today's match, the last one of this particular season 13 of From Hope to Glory, we go with Wendell in goal, Swan at right back, Herbert at left back, Joan and Colombini in central defence, Gonzalez, Goodwin and Morrison in central midfield, White on the right, Lawrence on the left, and Signorelli up top with a bench of Claridge, Ionel, Marks, Thompson, Bondor, Dudita and Abu Bakar. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we got ultra positive, pumped the fists and said this great opportunity to show everybody they've been right to back you through this season, as they have been doing recently and giving us a lot of plaudits in the press. So good opportunity to put on a display here away from home, but against a relegated side already. So they've got nothing to lose now, but they're also lacking in a little bit of quality. So we should be dispatching this sort of side in this kind of context fairly easily, but you can never quite tell, can you really? Good vein of form though recently, as we saw earlier in the episode, and it's Morrison down the right hand side trying to get past the defender, doesn't quite make it, but we can potentially pin them in if we're clever about our defensive duties, and we're not really. They do break those lines and they have moved forward to the top of the box into the shooting opportunity, and it's tipped over the top of the bar by the goalkeeper, and he had to be there for it. They've got a corner kick that came in very deep, but we get it partially cleared and then they run it out themselves, unfortunately for them, and it's the highlight goes and it's back in our possession a little bit. So an early sighter from Southampton there. They can counter-attack on us if we're not paying attention to our own attacking moves and the passing of our attacking moves. And again, it's Southampton on the ball, playing with this freedom now. I guess this is what it's all about. They've got nothing to lose at all now, so they're just giving it a go. And ultimately, that could be a bit of an issue for us if we're not careful. And again, we lose the ball, and they have made us pay with a fantastic strike. But it's our own downfall. We do this a lot to ourselves. It feels like, to me anyway. Maybe I'm just misreading it, but we often give the ball away, and we shouldn't be going long in that scenario. We should be going short through the centre-backs into midfield. That's how we've got it set up most of the time. And on this occasion, the goalkeeper goes long and we lose the ball. It feels like the players are making arbitrary choices here and there. And all of those arbitrary choices seem to be to enable the ball to get back to the opposition a little bit. That's what it feels a bit like to me anyway. But anyway, whilst I've got you here, we're 20 minutes in. Whilst I've got you here, two things. One, don't forget I'm now over on twitch.tv/the United City FM. And I'm over there every weekday afternoon from 3 till 5 p.m. UK time. So if you're free at all, come and join us. Come and be part of that community as well. We're doing a save with AC Milan over there at the moment. It's good fun. So yeah, come and find me over on Twitch live every afternoon and say hi. But what I was going to say is for the next 2 weeks, if you're watching these as they drop, for the next 2 weeks, my schedule is going to be slightly reduced to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks. So today, this one will drop on Monday. The next episode will be Wednesday. Following one will be Friday. And the same next week as well. And it's primarily because my wife has booked a couple of weeks off of work. We're not going anywhere, but we'd like to do a few bits and pieces while she's off work. So that's what is going to happen over the next 2 weeks. Then there'll probably be a little bit of a shift in the schedule a bit, just in the lead up to the changeover to FM22 as well. So keep an eye out for that. But for the next 2 weeks, both here on YouTube and on Twitch, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we'll see what happens after that. So bear that in mind as we move forward this week. Half time comes, we are 1-0 down. Disappointing, very disappointing to say the very least. We're not covering ourselves in glory here on a day where we really should be able to play with a little bit of quality and freedom against the side that have obviously struggled this season. So we're going into the dressing room and we're going to tell them. We'll thrash the arms about, far from pleased with what I've just seen. We're going to start the second half go out straight into the shouts, fire them up for the second half, move into attacking from positive, and see if we can get on the front foot in this particular game. We need to nick this ball a little bit. They're keeping the ball pretty well in these highlights, and we're not really getting at them enough. And again, they've worked it down the left-hand side into the box, and then we boot it clear, but we boot it straight back to them, and the pressure keeps on. We're not doing a very good job at all of keeping the ball. Now here is our chance to do so. Goodwin into Morrison, holds up the play nicely, drifts past the defender, gets all the way down the side of the penalty box to the byline, tries to cut it across. I think he was. It almost looked like he was shooting from that stupid angle if he did. But again, it didn't quite work in our favour. So throw in down this right-hand side. Swan on the ball into the Gonzalez. Goodwin takes over White and the ball. Nice play. Really nice play. And there's a goal from our left fullback, Herbert, on loan from Chelsea. I have tentatively inquired about him for next season in terms of another loan. They're not interested. They're saying they want to put him in their first team. He's going to be very expensive to get out of the club. So it'll be a position we need to fill next season, definitely. But that's a really, really great strike. And we find a way to get back at 1-1 at 53 minutes. So you can see possession stats. We've had the higher possession, but every time it's come to a highlight, we've been really shoddy on the ball a lot of the time. That one bit of quality there got us through. Our XG rating is slightly above theirs. The chances and the chances on target are both pretty similar, to be honest. So it's just about finding those moments of quality now, and hopefully the mentality of going into attacking and firing them up at the beginning of the second half has done the job. And he hits the post again, Herbert. He's found his shooting boots on this second half, and White on the follow-up should have potentially done a little bit better with that, and he puts it into the side netting. So post and side netting on that particular chance. And now Southampton have their own opportunity, working down this left-hand side for them primarily. And they have got it into the box. At the near post, they go to the near post. They probably should have pulled it back, but it hit that near post and it goes out harmlessly eventually. And the highlight goes. But they are causing us some problems. We are going to pause the game late in the game. I've given it a little bit more time because I thought the momentum had shifted towards us a little bit. But just coming up with 10 minutes to go, we are going to go and make a couple of personnel changes, get some fresh legs into this particular side moving forward. And you can see immediately where we have to change all three players. And it's the top of the pitch. Morrison, Lawrence, Signorelli all playing really badly compared to the rest of the squad who are doing okay. So we'll take Signorelli out, we put Abu Bakar in, we take Lawrence out, put Dudita in, we take Morrison out, and we put Thompson in, and we go back in to this game. And again, we go into the shouts as soon as we are able to, and now we demand more from them for the last 10 minutes. Can we find one way to get through to goal and get ourselves a late goal? But it's Southampton on the ball first. Can we finally find a way to win the ball back in one of these highlights? The goalkeeper saves us on the first opportunity, and they've absolutely stolen the points from us at this point, unless we do something mega, really. 7 minutes to go. They've got through again. Really lovely header on. Goalkeeper comes out, smothers the ball. It unfortunately drifts away from him. And the striker, or the attacking player, should I say, comes in and puts the ball in the back of the empty net, really. Here's the chance. Early on, though, there's an immediate highlight. Surely we come back at them. Herbert, again, the danger man, down the left-hand side, crosses this time. Abu Bakar, and he puts it wide. He puts it wide. Oh, that's so frustrating. Corner kick comes in, White over the top. It's not going to be our day, is it? It's really not going to be our day. I'm not going to change anything at this point. We've done fantastically well. I'm happy to be in like 7th place wherever we finish. It's just a little bit unfortunate. On the day, we couldn't convert our chances, but that's sometimes the way it works with this particular outfit, really. We can still be a little bit inconsistent. We played okay in bits. I mean, you can see Goodwin, Herbert, Joan all getting above 7 average rating, but it's that top 3 that let us down through most of that game. and the top three that we brought on didn't have enough time other than that one chance really from Abu Bakar. Disappointing. I mean, you can see we played okay in terms of more shots at goal. We didn't get as many on target. And again, the question I have for you for this coming transfer window that I will now go and do, should I change to a 4-4-2 and put two strikers up front and change the way this midfield works? Do you think that's going to be better for us moving forward? Signorelli, Abu Bakar up top together maybe, get a couple more strikers in to fill those roles up. I'm thinking about doing it, I must say, because I do feel that we are just lacking that little bit of quality when we get to the striking position in terms of getting our chances away. But you can see the XG rating, we had a better XG rating than they did. Pass completion was better, possession was better. Couldn't put it in the back of the net today. But there you go. That's going to end our season. So we're just going to come straight out of here. We're going to go into the team talk. I'm not going to be overly harsh on them. I'm just no jest to say I'm not particularly happy with that performance. And then we'll move on from it, because ultimately this season has been phenomenal after that really poor start. And if we hadn't have had that poor start, if we'd have hit the ground running, where would we have ended up this season? Because that sort of second, third and third, as it were, of the season, the last 2/3 would have been easier to say, wouldn't it? Were fantastic. We do, in the end, finish in 7th position. Had we won that game against Southampton, it was there for the taking. Another position was there for the taking. We should have potentially found ourselves in 6th, but Southampton pulled off that win to close the gap up. I mean, look at how close it was at the bottom. There's at least 3 or 4 sides that were all within 3 points of relegation on that last day of the season, and Liverpool took the title away from Man United, who have been at the top of the table for quite a while. So it was a really interesting last day, and we at Truro City secure 7th position in the Premier League. Can we go and split this top 6 next season? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm really happy with how it all worked out. I just wish that we got off to a slightly better start than we did, because then absolutely anything would have been possible for this particular campaign. Because those that second half of the season for us was fantastic in a lot of ways. So we'll just go through this one. We fall at the last. Liverpool crowned champions, 29 million in the bank for finishing in 7th. Collective payouts, all that good stuff. Next season, or should I say in the summer transfer window, we should have a reasonable amount of money to spend, really, because we've got some more prize money coming in a little bit here and there, and we've already got a decent bank balance. So ultimately, I'm hopeful that we'll get a reasonable amount of money to spend, but we'll figure that one as we go. You're going to have to come back next episode and see exactly what I do with this squad. It might look quite different by the time we come back. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to basically do it for today. Don't forget me on Twitch. Don't forget my change of schedule. Don't forget to come and find us in the Discord and my Twitter feed. All of the links to those things are in the description below. But basically, that's going to wrap up Season 13. Season 14, can we get into that top 6? Can we push for a European Champions League space? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for joining me today, though. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by lots more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.